Hey, John, you remember that time you and Barry Windham was coming into the state of Oklahoma from Kansas, and you see this "Welcome to the State of Oklahoma" sign, and you guys decide that you got to do something a little personal, and you do it really, really public.
You better believe I do it. Barry Windham and I were coming into Oklahoma. We was driving in from Kansas. We see the Oklahoma state sign, that Okie land north of the great state.
Welcome to Oklahoma. Oklahoma is okay.
Oklahoma is okay. By the way, you look like Hugh Jackman's grandfather.
I've heard that Hugh Jackman guy before, but I hadn't met his grandfather.
You look like a retired Wolverine X-Man.
That's what I want to be. That's my goal in life.
So Barry Windham and
Barry Windham
and I are coming into Oklahoma, and we're driving in, and this is way before cell phones, way before even dreamed of having a cell phone. And so we decided to stop on the city level, on the state sign, and take a Polaroid picture of me relieving myself on the Oklahoma state sign. Well, then we went to Blackwell, Oklahoma, and to Stillwater, Oklahoma, your working hometown and your shoot hometown, and took pictures of me relieving myself on your towns and your state. And the best part about it was we're out in the middle of nowhere. We found some Stillwater sign, and I'm out there, and Barry's going to take a picture with the Polaroid camera, and the Sheik and the Sultan drive by. I don't know how they got on this little bitty deserted road, and the Sheik thought my name was Brad Shaw. My last name was Shaw. In fact, he met my dad one time, and he said, Mr. Shaw, your boy Brad is such a fine young man. My dad had no idea what he was talking about. So Sheik stops and sees me and Barry Windham off on the side of the road. We see a car coming. We get out of the way, so we're not like indecent exposure. And the Sheik says, Mr. Shaw, is everything okay? And I said, yes, Mr. Sheik. I'm just using the bathroom on Brisco's hometown. He goes, excellent, Brad. You're such a good boy. And they drove off.
And then the punchline, then the really payback comes when you guys reach Oklahoma City, decide you want to have a little fun with those pictures, and you kind of do what? You go public with them.
Yep, we went into catering, and we put all those pictures up around everywhere so all the boys could see them. And we thought we'd get a big laugh out about it. And I realized that you was probably going to stretch me like you had done about 2,000 times previous. I got a record against you about like the Worston Generals have against the Harlem Globetrotters. You and I have wrestled about 2,000 times. I've won twice, and I've lost a lot of times.
And all over the world. And we got to tell a little story of how you won one day. But that's a later story.
What do you mean how I won? I thought it was just straight up wrestling.
Well, that's at the Texans' point of view.
I did the right thing. I jumped you from behind.
Of course you did. And
then I ran off.
We stopped $1 million concert right in the tracks.
Yeah, I did. Hey, and by the way, look at this. I got my Jim Thorpe honor of you. He's from the Sac and Fox tribe. In honor of you, I got my Jim Thorpe replica Canton Bulldog jersey on.
I love that jersey. Where do you find that stuff, man? I got to find me one of those.
I found it somewhere online in like one of these. I'll send you a link to it if I can find it. I found it online in one of these replica jersey places.
Oh, that's a replica. I thought it was one of a kind. Knowing your money, I thought you went to Canton and bought it.
You're one to talk about money. You're still got the first dime you ever made.
So, okay, yes, you're in Oklahoma. Let's change the subject here.
Okay.
You're in Oklahoma City and you're in catering when you made a bunch. You made about 50 of these damn pictures of you urinating on my hometown side.
Yep, I got a picture of me urinating on your city, on your hometown, on your working hometown, on the state of Oklahoma. We took a picture of a toilet bowl, said it was a Brisco family reunion, and we put it up in catering. We thought this is going to be the greatest thing ever. And I walk into catering, and the worst sight I've ever seen. There was your big brother, Jack Brisco, and Danny Hodge.
And neither one of them had a smile on their face.
Both of them are just looking at me. And I'm thinking, can I get to the door in time? So I got down on all fours and I said, come on, shooter boys. And what I was going to do was, while they looked at me and crazy, I was going to run out the door. Danny Hodge grabbed me. And brother, it was that Danny Hodge grip. And I could not get loose. I could not work out for the next 3 months. I thought he broke my arm.
Yeah, bruises up and down that arm. You know, Danny now, God bless Danny, he's 86, 87 years old. And the last report I got, he did a public appearance there in Perry about 2 years ago when he turned 85, I believe it was. They gave him a dozen apples, and he sat there and made apple juice for the kids there in the street.
Still did it.
Still doing it. Still doing it after all these years. And what a treasure Danny Hodge is. But just speaking of treasures, you mentioned the guy you had, Barry Windham.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a story about Barry Windham. You know, my brother Jack and I, we had a little slight reputation of, you know, having a good time here.
What?
And so we're sitting in a locker room in Greensboro, North Carolina. Blackjack Mulligan comes up to us and kind of sits up, pulls up a little folding chair across from our locker space and said, guys, he said, I got a big favor I want to ask you. Jack and I looked at each other, oh man, what are we getting ourselves into? Because you can't say no to Blackjack, right? He's too damn big. He said, my boy Barry had started into the business. I want him to get booked in Florida. You guys think you could help me out? And, you know, we own part of Florida. We said, of course we can. He said, not only that, he said, I'd like you guys to personally take care of my son, Barry. Now, come on. Can you imagine that?
He just gave it to Satan and the devil combined.
And look what happened to Barry, man. So, anyway, Barry comes. We said, Blackjack, we'll take good care of me. Well, you know, and the guys enjoyed riding with us when they were rookies because, you know, back in our days, people charge transportation to take one wrestler to a town and another town. You probably playing in transportation tabs yourself. It was a silly policy. I never really understood that, you know. And did you pay transportation when you were breaking in?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Killer Tim.
What was it? What was it then? It was like 2 cents or a penny and a half a mile, and everybody bitched when it went up to 2 cents a mile.
Yeah, they had it figured out to some type of bullshit. It was crap. It was absolute crap.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, you got to go to the damn town anyway. Just share, you know, I'll drive this week, you drive next week. I mean, no big deal. But anyway, you know, we never charge these rookies any transportation, so they liked riding with us, you know. So the rule was, you know, that Jack and I, back then, it was open container in the car, so it made no difference, you know, if your passengers are driving. So we made the rookie drive, and Jack and I could sit there and have our refreshments after the matches and all this. And Barry used to get so mad at us because, of course, he's a damn Texan, so and he's with two Okies, and his dad told him, you know, do whatever those Brisco boys tell you. They're going to take good care of you. So we made that kid drive us up and down the road. And finally, Barry started making a little money. He bought his own car. So then he made one of us drive, you know. But we had a T-shirt, and Magnum TA, Jimmy Garvin, Brian Blair, Steve Kern. It's called King of the Road. The guy who what it was a Budweiser T-shirt, and we, of course, what goes along Budweiser drinking. Like I said, it was open container. So we had a contest. The guy that lost, he quit drinking first, or threw up, or tapped out. He had to be the driver the next week, so the rest of us could get drunk and crazy and all that crap on coming home from a town. There were more wrestling matches on the side of the road between Yeehaw Junction and Tampa, and I think anywhere in the state of Florida, including the Bayfront Center. But Barry, you know, Barry was that big ass bear when he was like 18, 19 years old. Kid weighed about 275, 6'4", 6'5", whatever the hell he is, and just a monster. And you know, drinking all those beers, sometimes you know, those tempers would flare a little bit, and then when they'd start flaring, you know, Sure enough, Manny Fernandez was in there. And I remember one night Manny Fernandez and Barry started arguing about something. You know, they were both rookies as far as I'm concerned. They were arguing about something minor, and all of a sudden, whoever driving the car, Jack says, pull over. And of course, the guy pulls over. Well, out steps Manny Fernandez and Barry Windham, two pretty salty damn guys right there, right? Guys that you wouldn't want to mess with too much anywhere. So when they start to lock up. Well, there's an embankment because when it rains in Florida, the highways get so flooded, you know, because it's bottom land. So they put a little culvert, a ditch in there. So they still go to lock up. And thank goodness when they go to lock up, I think Barry takes a step and he steps on that culvert and they start rolling. They roll about 50 foot down to this down end of the culvert. By then, they're both laughing and everything. Hey, guys, come on, we're late for Tampa. So we pull them apart. And they get back in the car. We start the contest again. And the last guy standing there was the winner, and he got the trophy, the T-shirt. So, Barry, we took good care of Barry for Blackjack.
You guys would pull over on the side of the road and have a battle royal, a shoot battle royal for whoever got to wear that stinky old beer-infested T-shirt, right?
It was puke infested, beer infested, and urine infested, and everybody else. But it's the proudest trophy, and I still got one. And Jimmy Garvin has one framed in his mansion in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey, you know what's up about Danny Hodge that a lot of people don't know about? Skandar Akbar told me this. I never asked Stan about it, but, you know, Stan and Brody were the two men. You know, then those guys pretty much ran roughshod all over everybody, except for the Brisco brothers, of course. But Stan and Brody had a term between them. Bluebird was the term, and it was in case one of them got in the ring with Hodge, and Hodge started tying them up, and it turned into a shoot. So you had Stan and Brody both made a safe word about Danny Hodge.
Yeah.
So
well, you really needed one, and you know I always got stuck with having babyface matches with Hodge, and I'm telling you, Hodge was an OU Sooner, which and I was an Oklahoma State Cowboy, so there's that natural rivalry. So Hodge was kind of strange, you know. You get in a match with him, and you know your matches back in those days there wasn't a lot of matches on the card, so you had to put in some time. Going 45 minutes to an hour with Danny Hodge was like, oh my God, because somewhere during the course of that match, you'd be wrestling Danny be riding your ass, and you'd be trying to get to the rope. You could just feel Danny. Sometimes I think he would have flashbacks at Gallagher Hall, where Oklahoma and OSU used to wrestle all the time, and see that orange and black in me, and get a little carried away, and I'd always reach back and grab his wrist and kind of squeeze Danny, we're working. That's ain't Gallagher Hall. And of course, he would shake a little bit, laughing and loosen up, and then about 5 minutes later, he was that intense Danny Hodge again. So going 45 minutes in the ring with that son of a bitch was crazy. One time we're in Jacksonville, Florida, and we come back from the ring after going about 45, 50 minutes. He said, damn, about 30 minutes out there, kid. I thought I was in the ring with a freight train. I said, what do you mean a freight train, Daddy? It was me. I thought he was going to talk about me, you know, getting tight and stiff on it. He said, all I heard was, he said, you're damn tight. I was damn, with your 220 pounds on me, squeezing me like an apple, you'd be breathing hard too.
Hey,
but Danny was a pleasure to be in the ring with.
For those that don't know about the apple, you know, Stan used to tell me they would get the oldest, hardest apples they possibly could, and they'd throw it to Danny in the ring, and his gimmick was he'd catch the apple and he'd squeeze it and make juice out of it right there in the middle of the ring. I mean, he was legendary as far as his strength.
He certainly was. One time I saw him, you know, I was really, really fortunate when I was a true rookie in Oklahoma. You know, you had those damn road trips in Oklahoma. You go from Tulsa to Little Rock, 330 miles. You know, so you really got a lot of time to know. Danny knew every little free apple pie place in that 300 miles. he had his trip all planned out. Well, we can stop here and get a milkshake. We can go another 100 miles. We get a piece of apple pie. And it was all free to Daddy Hodge walked in it. Daddy Hodge, you get what you want. But back to your story there, when this was during the time when steel belt radios were first coming out. You know, they were all the greatest tire in the world. So we stopped at this gas station getting gas, and this guy recognized Daddy. He said, Mr. Hodge, he said, it's a pleasure having you. He said, I hear you're a pretty strong man. And then he tell him Tiger, you know, that's what he called everybody, Tiger. He tell him Tiger. I said, yeah, Mr. Hodge, he can squeeze anything. He can squeeze a new pair of flowers and break them. He can squeeze an apple. And the old man said, hey, Daddy, I just got these newfangled steel belt radios over there. They're supposed to be the stiffest thing in the world. Do you think you've been one and a half? Hodge kind of giggles at him. Where are they at? He walks over there. By now, you know, the whole damn community there, probably all 35, 40 people watch Mr. Hodge squeeze that steel belt radio. So Hodge gets it up. He does that working, you know, he goes, well, oh, Tiger, that's pretty stiff, you know. I said, yeah, Danny, you can have it. And those guys, they're starting to make bets, you know. And pretty soon Hodge picks it. I'm going to give it one more shot, Tiger. You think I can do it? I said, you can do it, Daddy. You can do it. He picks it up. He works that, and all of a sudden he goes, boom, start playing that damn steel belt radio like a damn accordion, and those farmers and gas people there, they're just dropping their jaw. But Hodge was a fun guy to be around, John. You know that.
Yeah, fun guy, legendary strength. I didn't find much fun with him that day when I walked in there and saw your big brother, Daddy Hodge. I put those dang pictures up, and I knew I wasn't going to get out of there without a lot of pain. Those boys
you knew you weren't going to get out of there without getting your ass kicked, just like those damn Longhorns are tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. I'll go on national TV playing the Oklahoma Sooners. Really, you know, I'm a cowboy, everybody knows, but Texas, Oklahoma, you know, the loyalty transcends, and you know how I feel about that game. You know, I just I laugh my ass when you get beat, and I laugh my ass when those Sooners get beat. But tomorrow I'm gonna be laughing at you, Layfield, because you owe me $100. I want that counterfeit money with your picture on it. You know what happened to those other guys that tried to put their pictures on there? They wasn't as good a printer as you are, but they got caught. I think they were only $20 bills. Soon everybody knows you only deal with $100 bills. But
it's good versus
evil. I
evil.
won't get my ass kicked for saying that, you know.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Brisco, I'm glad we figured this out, because last time we tried one of those Instagram deals and it didn't work because neither one of us had it zoomed in on either one of us.
Well, they got 15 minutes of our heads, you know.
That's right. We two old men that don't know nothing about technology.
Okay, we'll go home and beat those damn. Hey, Stan Hansen's trying to call me. Why do you think Stan Hansen's trying to call me this week? He hadn't called me in a year. Why do you think he's trying to call me this week?
You probably owe him money.
No, I don't owe him money. We kicked you guys' ass last year. But by the way, I don't, you know, my Cowboys have won like 5 in a row over those Longhorns. So it's not a rivalry until the other team wins a game or two, you know. And so far in the last 10 years, I mean, has Texas even been in the top? Have they been relevant in college football?
Yes, they've been in the top. Yeah, haven't you heard of Vince Young?
When? Back when Michael Vick, what was that, in 1989, 98, something like that? Last time Texas man anything.
No, it was national
Darryl Roll, the only great coach Texas ever had, right? You know where he was from? Hollis, Oklahoma. It took a damn Okie, a Sooner, to go down there and teach you Texans a little bit about winning and develop some type of winning tradition.
You sound
Look it up. You don't even know that. Look it up there, Texan.
I know where Darryl Royal was from. I got to play golf one time.
They built a damn statue of him outside of Texas Stadium there. I mean, holy cow, on Okie. They're honoring an Okie right there in Austin, Texas.
This conversation didn't go very well.
Well, John, I know you'll be crying about 3:30 tomorrow afternoon, and
I'll put out a video, Mr. Brisco, about them hook 'em horns beating them Oklahoma Sooners, and good. going over evil. Thanks, Mr. Brisco.
Thank